Welcome once again to the WERA Pro Interstate Batteries Formula USA Road Racing Series, brought to you on Prime Network, the world's largest regional sports network.
You're taking the chance, risking it all for the thrill of the moment. Taking a stand, you ain't gonna fall, and you've always known it. They're dying to shake you, trying their best to break you, and though the going is rough, you're going home as a hero.
Road Atlanta, the site of the 1991 WERA Pro Grand National Finals, and we're going to take a look back on Saturday. Morris Murray and Nick Einach and I are here. This is Keith Code. Go for it, Morris.
Thank you, Keith. There we saw a shot of the Yoshimura on-bike camera Suzuki GSX-R 750 Grand National Heat Race. Chuck Graves, our cameraman, that gets a fabulous hole shot down around the outside into turn one. Nick, take it from there.
Chuck Graves started quick, but David DeVoe was all over him. We'll see in the on-bike camera here in this heat race. David DeVoe, 131, puts it right up with Chuck. Chuck Graves was holding him off. The Yoshimura bike camera then focuses on Ray Yoder back there, bike number 52. You can see David DeVoe wants to go a little bit quicker than Chuck's going right now on this first lap.
And remember, folks, these are all Suzuki GSX-R 750s. This is the Suzuki Cup final. This actually is a heat race as Dave DeVoe tries down the inside of turn 6, turn 5 it is, takes the lead away from Chuck Graves, and the rest of the field file through.
I want to remind you that there's no money on these heat races, but these heat race finishing positions will mean a lot today when these men take to the final event, because there are some large Suzuki checks on this race.
Filing out on the back straight here at Road Atlanta, David DeVoe leads the group. Chuck Graves, look out the back. There's Ray Yoder on the Yoshimura bike cam down the back straight at Road Atlanta.
Yoshimura providing this motorcycle-mounted camera all year for us, providing great pictures. Number 31, chasing Dave DeVoe now. Your super stock winner from West Palm Beach, Moroso, the last round, Trip Nobles, the Macon, Georgia rider. He's right behind Dave DeVoe, your leader, right now.
Trip Nobles has made a terrific transition from Harley-Davidsons to Suzukis. Now, that's a big difference, coming from about a 12 or 1300cc twin-cylinder bike made here in America to a 4-cylinder, 160 horsepower machine. But right now, Trip Nobles is moving up on the field.
This is the on-bike camera once again. Chuck Graves carrying the camera. Tishan Bouet, number 32, right behind him. Now, we talked earlier in the year, in fact, at the first round at Road Atlanta, we talked about drafting, the technique of using the draft to draw up on the motorcycle in front of you and pass him eventually. Watch this, folks. This is drafting at its best. You won't get a sheet of paper between these two guys as number 32 pulls in right in behind Chuck Graves and goes by. But wait for it. He hasn't got enough steam. Back into the draft again for another go as they turn through turn 8 and down into the dip here at Road Atlanta. Nick, talk to us about drafting.
Well, you saw a good shot of there as Tishan Bouet tried to get around Chuck Graves, and he did eventually go around the outside. Basically, what you're doing is you're using the guys ahead of you to push through the air and cheating, getting the hole in the air, and hopefully your bike will make a little more power because of that, and then you zip around them for the big win, all the money, the glory, and the kisses of all the women. Right, Keith?
I think that's true. This is about halfway through on this look back.
Oh, we have a rider down. That's Edward Sadvar. He was number 37 in this field. He's down in that famous Road Atlanta red dirt. While the riders are on the track, they're concentrating on this ribbon of asphalt. But you ask any race tuner who's been to Road Atlanta, their biggest worry is this red dirt, because if your rider goes down in it, it's impossible to clean off. This stuff is on for the year if you go down in it.
But the show yesterday in this heat race in the 750cc Suzuki Super Sport National is Dave DeVoe and Trip Nobles chasing right up his exhaust pipe, not quite being able to get around him.
We can see here Ray Yoder, bike number 52, was not able to hang on to Chuck Graves. Chuck did lead him across the line, and of course David DeVoe hung on, as we see here, coming up under the bridge. DeVoe leads in here. If Trip could have got him there, he would have won.
One more corner to go. Dave DeVoe has the lead in this. Remember, this is a heat race. Lots more of this fabulous action to come. Dave DeVoe takes the win in this Saturday afternoon GSX-R 750 heat race from Trip Nobles, Tishan Bouet, and Chuck Graves. Also Saturday afternoon, we had a heat race for the GSX-R 1100 Suzuki Cup Grand National Final. Mike Sullivan on that big 1100 getting the whole shot there in the middle of the pack. Watch Bruce Ball as he goes down through them all and takes the lead. Here we see Bruce Ball is number 36. Great 600 rider all year. Up into turn 5 and down Bruce Ballas goes. Too much front brake. Sorry, Bruce, you're not going to get this one. Back with the rest of the pack, we see them all file through. Jeff Hino, your leader from Kurt Hall, and looks like Britt Turkington back there, number 28. Hino goes on, storms away from the pack in this GSX 1100 heat race Saturday afternoon, remember. Hino takes the win from Hall and Britt Turkington. In evidence at Road Atlanta, there were some Grand Prix stars. Here we see Suzuki's Kevin Schwantz signing autographs, making it a good weekend for the race fans.
And we spoke with Kenny Roberts about himself and American road racing.
It's a little different. I don't usually start with 250s and end up with 500s to do the job, but no, we were happy with the way things went. We'd like to see more 500s out here. I made a big push to get some made and to try to get some out here. Next year we'll see what happens.
America's #1 self-help bestseller. It's the owner's manual for the human mind. Get your copy today at Walden Books.
See hundreds of the auto industry's exciting 1992 models at the Long Beach International Auto Show, November 27th through December 1st at Long Beach Convention Center. See all new luxury sedans and coupes, exciting sports models, affordable airbag cars, family vans, 4x4s and pickup trucks, concept cars, world's fastest racer, all at Southern California's first 1992 auto show, the Long Beach International Auto Show, November 27th through December 1st, Long Beach Convention Center.
Pro Formula USA Leg 1 brought to you by the American Motorcycle Institute, the international choice for motorcycle technicians, and by Yoshimura R&D of America, makers of performance parts for those who need the best. Let's take a look now at the Leg 1 grid. We see the two Marlboro bikes on the outsides. In the middle there, big Suzuki and Mike Smith. Tom Kipp makes a fabulous hole shot on the back wheel on that Wiseco Yamaha 750 up through the middle. Tom Kipp makes a fabulous start, and the rest of the field go out through turn 1 here to begin this first leg of WERA Pro Formula USA at Road Atlanta.
But what's wrong with Robbie Peterson's bike out there? The number 16 points leader, Robbie Peterson, the Zimbabwean rider on the Kenny Roberts Marlboro machine, had a lot of smoke there. Those are 2 strokes, but they are not supposed to smoke like that.
I'm wondering if he didn't get it cleaned out right, or if he came to the line a little bit loaded up, something like that. We'll have to see what develops here. But meanwhile, Tom Kipp's got the bike 16 out and running. He's going to see put it through these 2 strokes right now. This is probably the strongest Formula USA field we've had all season. Everybody came out for this big final, and number 1, Mike Smith, in the middle of the front row. He's in trouble. Smith is slipping back. That big Suzuki's in trouble. Smith about 4th or 5th into turn 5, but now is falling back, and that Yoshimura Suzuki has definitely got a problem. You can see him just touring right there. Keith, what do you think?
I think that motorcycle, 208 horsepower, is the fastest thing on the racetrack today. It's the first thing that we've ever seen this year that could run with the 500cc bikes down the likes of the back straightaway at Road Atlanta, which is one of the quickest straights in the world. Look at the crowd here at Road Atlanta for the Grand National Finals, even guys up in trees.
Doug Bronick's here. You can see him there with the beard on, looking on. It's cold here, folks. Meanwhile, Rich Oliver went by on the back straight, comes down, leads across the start-finish for the first lap. Tom Kipp isn't giving up, but Rich Oliver's got that 97 bike out and running. And right behind Tom Kipp, Kurt Hall in 3rd place from Robbie Peterson, Donald Jacks, and Chuck Graves back there.
I spoke with Chuck Graves earlier. Chuck, you're the most successful 4-stroke rider this year in WERA Formula USA. You have really provided some excitement for the fans. What's it going to look like for you here at the Grand National Finals?
Well, it's been good all the way up to this morning. We blew up a motor in practice, and so we're putting a 750 motor in, and we're just going to take it around, get the points, get our 3rd place, and go home. So, but we're going to put on a good show.
Chuck's got a good-looking team there commiserating with him, but right now, out in front, Rich Oliver on the Team Roberts Marlboro Yamaha YZR 500. These things have been unbelievable all year. They've worked fabulously. The team worked hard to make them good. They didn't slack off. They didn't decide, well, we got big bikes, let's just relax. They worked hard all year. The riders worked hard. Right now, Tom Kipp is working hard on the 750cc Yamaha.
Tom Kipp on that Wiseco number 16 OW01 1000cc Yamaha. and he is making a good showing for a 400-pound motorcycle. And right behind him is Kurt Hall, the 1989 Formula USA champion on that methanol-burning Valvoline Suzuki.
Kurt Hall's under a lot of pressure from Oliver's teammate Robbie Peterson. Watch as they come down through here. Kurt Hall's under pressure, Nick.
Exactly. We've got some interesting four-strokes out there as we watch Oliver go through. We've got Kurt Hall on a GSXR 1100, or probably displacing a little bit more than 1100, in an 1100 chassis. But then you've got Tom Kipp, who's got a 750 chassis, who's got a 1000cc stuffed in it. So we've got some interesting combinations. That seems to be the most popular, though. Take a smaller chassis, like a 750 chassis, and then put the big horsepower in it. And, of course, Kurt Hall, for instance, decided, yeah, I'm going to take advantage of this new WERA methanol rule and run a little methanol in here, and perhaps it'll keep that GSXR a little bit cooler through the race, and perhaps we'll see Kurt Hall staying with these 500s through the race, which he hasn't been able to do up till now.
Rich Oliver out in front. He doesn't really have a chance if Robbie Peterson can finish these races. Robbie's got enough points on Rich Oliver that Rich is...
Oh, Britt Turkington. Oh, Donald Jacks down, number 59, that big Team Suzuki rider. Donald Jacks out of Florida. He's down. He's hurt his ankle. Well, I don't know if he's going to make it for the second race. Let's hope so.
Jack's one of your up-and-coming riders in America. Young, fast, aggressive, and he had a good sponsor there with a Suzuki Endurance sponsor, but he's down and out. But meanwhile, teammate Kurt Hall pulls a big wheelie, and Robbie Peterson goes by him. Robbie Peterson has moved up behind Top Kipp. We've got a Marlboro in first, Marlboro in second, or third, and a Wiseco bike right in the middle of the two.
Methanol was not enough to build that 1100 Suzuki up to a faster bike than that four-cylinder 500cc Yamaha, Team Yamaha, Marlboro, Kenny Roberts machine.
I don't know, though. Kurt Hall's he's a wily young man. Old man, I should say, Kurt. You're about 31 years old now, and he's going to probably ride around and see what his tires do toward the end here and see if he can pick these guys off, because Kurt Hall has been around here at Formula USA racing enough. He knows the tires are going to go away eventually.
Look at Tom Kipp. Tom Kipp is one of the most improved riders in America today on superbikes. He is out there really trying hard. You can see him shake, both wheels shuddering, going right through the turns. He's at the lead of the four-stroke pack right now. Looks like Rich Oliver's really got this heat race, or this first leg of the first 12 leg of this Formula USA final in hand right now.
Keith, you started to mention about the point situation. Let's just recap while we have a chance here. Rich Oliver, I think it's fair to say, the faster of the two Team Marlboro Roberts riders. However, Robbie Peterson, the more consistent. Oliver had a couple of non-finishes, and Peterson holds a commanding points lead coming into this race. For Oliver to win the series, Peterson's got to fail to finish one of these races. Right now, it doesn't look good for Rich Oliver.
And that's been the story for Rich Oliver over the year. He's been able to finish one of the races. He's lost his points, come up, maybe finished in 8th place, sometimes 10th place. He's picked up a couple of points, but he's let his teammate...
Watch now, Keith. Let me interrupt you. Zimbabwe's Robbie Peterson trying everything he knows to take that second place away from Tom Kipp. Kipp slams the door to 750 Yamaha, slams the door on the 500 Yamaha. Up out of the dip. Robbie will try it once again here. Yes, Robbie Peterson goes through, takes that second place away from Ohio's Tom Kipp. Kipp's not about to give up. Look, Tom Kipp down the outside. Holds it.
Wow, nice move. Tom Kipp looked like he was going to come up the inside. We'll be right back for more Formula USA.
Hi, Steve McCoy from the Morning Show at Star 94 FM. Come on out, work out, play tennis, have a blast at the Sporting Club at Windy Hill.
This is a great place. All my friends are here. The instructors are great. It's only $39.
It's only $39.
Great hoop, hoop, hoop.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Yeah! The Sporting Club at Windy Hill. Do it now. It feels good.
Elves at CompUSA. It's almost as remarkable as the selection and savings. Maybe Santa might bring you a complete Apple Macintosh system with color monitor, style writer printer, and a $350 rebate from CompUSA, your authorized Apple dealer. You know, with all the lists that Santa keeps in his computer, I bet the big guy uses the Seagate 1-inch hard drive with IDE interface. You know, the Easter Bunny does. 89 megabytes of power for just $319. Those elves are saving a lot of money at CompUSA. Wonder if Santa knows. He's pretty smart.
Wisconsin bad boys knock heads with Nebraska in a Big 10, Big 8 round ball riot. Live Wednesday night on Prime Network. Available on most Prime affiliates.
Welcome back to Road Atlanta. Formula USA brought to you by the AMI and Yoshimura R&D. Here we are, Formula USA, this fabulous Run What You Brung class. Keith, tell us more about Formula USA.
Formula USA is Run What You Brung. Everything's been tried. Nitrous oxide, methanol's now legal. You could have a 1400cc, a 1500cc, any size engine you want.
Right now, Keith, let me interrupt you. We have an ambulance on the racetrack. That means the riders have to take tremendous caution on the racetrack. The racing still goes on, but in that portion of the racetrack. Robbie Peterson, his hand up. Robbie Peterson has something broken, or has he pulled off because of the ambulance? It sure looks like Peterson is out of the race. He's coasting to a stop. Your championship leader, we talked about this earlier on. Oh, disaster for Robbie Peterson.
Disaster also for Mike Smith as his clutch was burned up. That smoke that we saw in Robbie Peterson's Marlboro Yamaha on the start-finish line meant something, guys. He is blown up right now. He's sitting up at turn 5.
And that was going to be the problem with the 500s. They're a little bit more fragile on a 4-stroke. You tweak those 2 strokes as close as you can. You get them as lean as you can, and then you just hope and pray they last. And for a big event, you tweak them a little bit harder, and Robbie Peterson has just gone just past the edge and has parked the thing in turn 5.
How about Kurt Hall, though, coming back towards the end of the season with some real true grit, chasing down Tom Kipp, one of the top riders in America. Kurt Hall quit running Formula USA earlier this year, and he's making his comeback here basically in the last race of the year, and he's looking really good, running in 3rd right now.
You bet. Kurt Hall has a number of laps around this racetrack with the Team Suzuki Endurance as we watch Robbie climb up toward the fans and be out of the race. Kurt Hall has been around this racetrack plenty of times. He knows what it's going to take to win a leg of Formula USA. It's going to take fast laps at the end.
But Robbie Peterson is now out of a championship. Unless Rich Oliver also DNFs this one, he is out of a championship. Of course, Rich Oliver could DNF the 2nd leg, and he would then be out of the championship, and it'd go back to Peterson.
Great stuff.
That's right, Keith. And Rich Oliver's team right now is mechanic Brian Tufey. They'll be trying everything they know to let their rider know, cool it, calm down. Robbie is out of the race. We see the ambulance there at turn 5. Take a look. Kurt Hall is looking good. Take a look at the new color scheme on his bike. Back to the field. Chuck Graves is also there. Tom Kipp, not a regular Formula USA rider. He's going for it now around this bumpy road Atlanta racetrack, taking a look down at his machine. He's here, and oh, there seems to be a problem. He's taking another look down. Mind you, the thing pulls a wheelie.
Can't be too big of a problem.
That's right.
Nice 4th gear, 120-mile-an-hour wheelie. But while Tom's looking down and checking things out, Kurt Hall goes by and says, "Go ahead, Mr. Kipp. You look at that. I'm going to ride down this racetrack." Kurt Hall in the big 1100 Suzuki just went by Tom Kipp's 750 1000 Yamaha combination. Kurt Hall leans it down, hard right, going down the hill at Road Atlanta. Quite a thrill. You can do a nice wheelie down that hill right there. Another hard right across the start-finish line. Kurt Hall has just moved up into 2nd place.
And there's Rich Oliver going into turn 1. There he is. Okay, about 2.5 seconds separate Kurt Hall. And he has passed. He's in 2nd place now. Can he catch Rich Oliver? Can he do what nobody else has done this year?
And if he catches Rich Oliver, will Rich race with him, or will Rich let him go by? Rich will know now. He's been by the pits one time. He'll know Robbie's out of the race. He's in a difficult dilemma. Does he race for it? Does he slow it down? Does he ride a conservative race? Hey, Rich, I don't want to be in your shoes.
Right, he looks like he's going slow. He looks like he's kind of on a touring lap. And look at this. Kurt Hall is definitely making ground on him while pulling away from Tom Kipp on that Yamaha.
Boy, Kipp is still pushing. Watch how quickly they steer the motorcycle into the corner, folks, and watch how quickly they get their knee down on the ground. That means how hard they're pushing and how much the bike is moving around. You can see Oliver leaning in kind of slowly, but Kurt Hall's pushing a little bit harder. Bike's moving around a little bit more. He's trying to get on the throttle as early as he can, getting the tires spinning, tucking in hard. Kurt Hall's still pushing, while Rich Oliver, from what I can see in turn 5 there, might be cruising for a victory, or as close as he come to a victory to get this championship.
I think you're right, Nick, and I think Morris is right, too. His teammates are down there. They're showing him the pit board. Here he is. There's Rich Oliver coming up through the hole, coming down into the start-finish line right now. Let's see what he looks like.
Little tentative.
Yeah, he does. He's definitely not pushing. But look, Kurt has made more ground on him, Tom. Kipp is losing a little bit of ground to Kurt Hall. Here he comes across the line. We've still got a few laps to go. Rich Oliver is in a precarious position right now. Kurt Hall could definitely catch him.
Boy, I love this kind of stuff. Rich Oliver has a lot of pride inside of him. He does not like to lose. So we'll have to see if he can suck down deep and push hard. Mike Harth, bike number 88, who we have missed lately. Welcome back, Mike Harth, is leading Chuck Graves. So Harth looks like he's in the back.
It sure is. Mike Harth, we might mention, riding the Dutchman Endurance entry. It's not an endurance race. He's riding the big bike. Look at Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. Kurt Hall, reel in your leader, Rich Oliver. Rich Oliver from Northern California. He's just recently moved to Fresno, California. Kurt Hall tries to go through. Kurt Hall using the big motor to get past. They're side by side out towards the back of the straight, and Kurt Hall does it.
Good, turn 6. There we go. Kurt Hall goes by him, that methanol burning monster.
Scotty Beach built that motorcycle, and it looks like he built it to run. Either Rich Oliver is having a problem, or the Northern California rider is backing off to get a championship. This is the last lap, folks. It's now or never. Let's see what Kurt Hall can do.
I'll tell you what Rich Oliver's problem is. His eyes are watering right now because the fumes coming out of that the back of that methanol burning bike will be getting to Rich, but he looks like he's going to follow it home. Kurt Hall pulls out a big lead on this last lap here.
Hall smoked him on the back straightaway. I cannot believe he pulled that 500 arrow at one turn to go. He's going down to get the flag from Jumpin' Al Wilcox right now. It looks like Kurt Hall's got this one in the bag.
As Kurt Hall comes around the last corner here at Road Atlanta to take the victory in the first leg, I do believe that's the first time these YZRs have been beaten hands down.
Kurt Hall, the 1989 Formula USA champion, wins his first race of the year on that methanol-burning Suzuki. A beautiful ride by Kurt.
Ohio's Tom Kipp takes third place, Mike Harth fourth on the Dutchman entry, and there's Chuck Graves coming home in fifth place. Don't go away, 600 Superstock coming up.
In this video, riders with millions of miles of experience will share their street smarts with you. You'll learn advanced street tactics, tricks of the trade for keeping the upper hand in critical situations. Why learn urban survival through trial and error?
The WERA Pro 600 Superstock race is brought to you by Honda. Come ride with us. Here we go. Come ride with Honda. 600 Superstock on the gray. The green flag waves, and we have a race underway. Mike Reed, number 50, jumps out in front of this one, chased by all the rest of them. Everybody's trying to get some action.
This has been some violent racing all year long. Not violent in the bad sense, violent in the good sense. It's been good competition. Mike Reed, the local boy from Smyrna, Georgia, Triple R Racing, is out in front. He's got something to prove.
Billy Eisenhower's right with him. That's bike number 75. He's got a great-looking helmet on, and he takes the lead going down into the S's here at Road Atlanta. Eisenhower's an endurance racer, an older guy, but he's showing Mike Reed the way around here, isn't he?
Bike number 6. We don't even know who it is. We don't have him on our entry sheets. There he is in third place right now, challenging the leaders.
And right now we have Darrell Saylor, a young man from Pennsylvania, Altoona, Pennsylvania, if I remember rightly. He performed very well at Pocono. He's a rookie. This is his first year of professional racing. Darrell Saylor in fourth place right now.
Eisenhower leads out down the back straight there. Eisenhower's going to learn what the draft's all about right here. He probably already knows. Mike Reed from Smyrna sniffing at the back of Eisenhower's bike as the rest of the field strings out. They're getting, the first couple guys are going pretty hard, especially on such a cold day.
Mike Reed goes down around the outside. Mike Reed takes the lead from Eisenhower in this 600 Superstock race. Remember, folks, these are 600cc machines based very, very strictly on road bikes. You can walk into your bike store and buy one of these and only modify it a very little amount to come racing here at WERA Pro 600 Superstock.
Morris, Nick just mentioned the temperature here at Road Atlanta on this November day, and it is very, very cool. Some of the cornering techniques that we're seeing right now on these bikes and these 600cc machines, they have DOT tires. You can buy these tires. And these guys are actually going a little bit slower. The lap times, as we observed, are about a second and a half slower than normal. So that's what we're looking at right here. We're almost looking at a slow motion ballet here in this 600cc Superstock race.
That's right, Keith. And these cold temperatures, definitely a challenge for the tire manufacturers. They've got to make tires that will work, especially in these DOT classes, tires that will work through the whole season, through a full range of different weather conditions and track conditions.
Mike Reed right now, the local Smyrna, Georgia rider with something to prove in front of his home crowd, and a large crowd it is here. In fact, a record crowd here at Road Atlanta for the WERA Grand National Finals. Mike Reed making his way onto the back straightaway. Billy Eisenhower not quite in drafting distance, Nick.
Mike Reed on the CBR 600 F2. That's Honda's new bike. It's come out. It took a while until it started beating the FZR Yamahas, but now it looks to be the class of the field. The people have developed the CBRs, the guys have learned how to ride them, and now Honda is leading the field. They're 1 and 2, and probably got an FZR third right now. We'll take a look back into the field.
Nick, as I look back in my motorcycling encyclopedia, I see Nick Einach's name riding a 600 last year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tell us how these bikes compare to riding a full-on race bike, as you've done this year.
Well, they're on DOT tires, and they've got fairly limited modifications, so they're still relatively heavy. They're probably 430 pounds, 450 pounds total, which is a couple of 100 pounds too much if you're talking about a real race bike. They're about 200 pounds more than a good 250. They're on the DOT tires, which are treaded tires. We're, of course, on the slick tires. They're
bumping and boring going on back there in the field. Did you see that?
They're
leaning on each other. These guys are having a lot of fun. And if you haven't noticed by now, folks, the dominant motorcycle in this class is a Honda CBR 600. Go down to your Honda dealer and buy one.
The reason they're bumping and grinding is because they're all pretty darn even. I mean, there's not really a lot a tuner can do. You can't really get out your boring bar. You can't really get out your valve grinding compounds and go crazy on these engines. You put them together as carefully as you can, put a pipe on them, put some suspension on them, get them jetted right, and hope your rider can ride them.
And Mike Reed is riding today very nicely here in the cold weather, very nicely here in front of his home crowd, very nicely about 30 miles from his hometown of Smyrna,
Trip
Georgia.
Nobles, I've got to interrupt you there, Keith. Trip Nobles, bike number 31, he started way back in the field, and he is sniffing for third place right now. Looks like he's putting the move on 211 and going by Trip Nobles, bike number 31. We've seen him now for the last 2 years, and Trip Nobles is making a name for himself in American road racing.
Trip Nobles definitely the charger here in the 1991 season in any of the events that he has run in any series.
And let's talk about, as we talk about Trip Nobles, one of the first people he thanks every time he gets off that motorcycle is his brother Clifford. His brother Cliff comes to all the races, takes care of Trip, buys the machinery. Stay tuned for more super stocks.
Sports fans, now you can pick up Scores absolutely free, but there's much more. It's free Scores coast to coast. Scores, injuries, trends, and much more absolutely free 24 hours a day. In Georgia, call 404-454-4900. North Carolina, 704-338-6900. And South Carolina, 803-771-2100. Scores, injuries, trends, and much more absolutely free. Call now.
If you hang out with America's top builders, you'll see they rely on Makita high-torque tools. Corded or cordless, Makita's got the torque to power its way through anything. And with service centers from coast to coast, you'll never get caught with your tools down. At Makita, you've got the tools to get the job done. Makita, it's all the power you need.
Television's best sports team is the first word in sports. Coverage of the day's sports action, in-depth analysis, behind-the-scenes interviews. CNN Sports Tonight, the first word in sports at 11 p.m. Eastern on CNN.
Let's light up the night. Let's do it upright.
Let Long John Silver's brighten your holidays with beautiful crystal. Just 69 or 99 cents with any meal.
Go fish Long John Silver's.
Welcome back to a chilly road, Atlanta, just outside of Braselton, Georgia, a town that Kim Basinger owns. I wonder if she's here today watching this fabulous racing action.
And Georgia, the first three riders are all from Georgia. That's all we've got in our sights today. With Mike Reed from Smyrna, Georgia, leading up the pack. Billy Eisenacher is running in second place.
Not anymore. Trip Nobles went through as he disappeared out of sight. Trip Nobles from Macon, Georgia, he got through into second place. Behind him, Eisenacher in third, and Darrell Saylor from Altoona, Pennsylvania. He's got Georgia on his mind right now because he's got these three Georgians right in front of him.
Nobles is on the charge for sure. He got by Eisenacher and instantly put about 15 bikes in between he and him.
I wonder if he started Eisenacher getting by because he has put some distance on him, and that's hard to do in the 600 Super Sport action because the bikes are so even. Trip Nobles has got his head down. He's been around this racetrack plenty, endurance racing and sprint racing over the last couple years. Eisenacher tries his best.
Oh, Darrell Saylor riding the wheels off that motorcycle. He was doing a square dance with that motorcycle as they go down past the ambulance. Trip Nobles already with your leader. Wow. Trip Nobles from Macon, Georgia. He is on a charge here.
In the draft, down into the hole at Road Atlanta, and he has not gotten the pass at this time, but there he is.
Now, Trip Nobles takes the lead in this 600 Superstock race brought to you by Honda. You know, Keith and Nick, I have to apologize for maybe being unfair again, these guys come out to their local race and they perform very, very well. Trip Nobles rides this hard all year. He does every race he can and is one of the country's front-running superstock riders.
You bet. Trip Nobles is very tough, and I wonder if Mike Reed has an answer for him. I think Trip Nobles can't be denied this race. He's come hard.
Tom Montano up to third place. It looks like Tom Montano's up to third. Let's talk to Trip Nobles.
So how does it look for you in the 600?
Looks real good. I'm hoping it does. The last race, I pulled off a win just over Bruce Baldus down in Moroso, so I'm really looking forward to racing here. I kind of consider it as my home track.
Meantime, Tom Montano, the Northern California rider on an FCR 600 Yamaha, has moved into the top 3. This is pretty strange in a class that has been dominated by Hondas this year. Nick?
Montano is a Sears Point Raceway regular. He comes down to Willow Springs quite a bit. Willow Springs is very fast. Sears Point is very technical, rather slow, so he gets a good combination of a bunch of different stuff. And Atlanta is the same way. It's a combination. It's got some slow, bumpy corners, and it's got some incredibly fast stuff. Coming down into the dip, where they're headed right now, is an incredible corner on an American road racing track, and it's probably a unique corner across the world.
And right now, Tom Montano is making a big hole in the air for Altoona, Pennsylvania's Darrell Saylor. Saylor perhaps not as experienced as Tom Montano. He's also on an FC 750 Yamaha, 750, look at me, 600 Yamaha in this 600 Superstock class. As they come up at it, Tom Montano safely in third place right now in those very bright, colorful cycle racer leathers. Here's your leader, Trip Noble.
Trip Noble is gone, but I'll tell you what, your little faux pas about the 750s and the 600s is not really out of that ballpark. These 600s run down in the low 11-second quarter miles stock, and that's a number the 750s a couple years ago couldn't get. So the 600s are really coming on. At many racetracks across the country, a production 600 is faster than a production 750. The factories, Honda and Yamaha, have poured a lot of time and expense into these 600s. They are light and they are fast, and that is a tough combination in road racing.
It's very interesting. The 600cc class has been extremely competitive since 1980, when the first KZ550 Kawasaki came out. It was a class that was dominated by Kawasaki's for a number of years. Then Yamaha came in with the FJ600. Then it's been tossed back and forth. Kawasaki had it for a while again. Yamaha has come back. Honda's right at the top of the heap right now. It's a very competitive class, and it goes on year after year after year in C Superstock, and we're seeing it right now. Tom Montano, Yamaha, right behind him, Darrell Saylor from Pennsylvania on his Yamaha as well.
Montano's got just a big picture of that number 211. I'm kind of rubbing my hands in glee for next year also. Suzuki's coming out with a 600 finally, a liquid-cooled GSXR 600, right. And the FCRs and the CBR F2s are going to have one more person to play with, all the Suzuki riders. And of course, Suzuki, post-contingency like they have for the last few years, if you've got a Suzuki and you're going to be racing and you're going to be fast, you're going to be pocketing some money.
That's right, Nick, and as Keith reminisces back before we were born, let's just note how far motorcycle racing has come on. All these guys, bright colors.
White flag, last lap, the battle for third place right there. Thomas Montano and Darrell Saylor. Our mystery rider number 6 also.
Mystery rider number 6. Eisenach has faded. He's back in running 9th or 10th place right now. Here we are once again with your leader, Trip Nobles, Macon, Georgia, on that Honda CBR 600. Big number 31 on the side. That's a number Bruce Baldus remembers quite well from Moroso Park, because it was all over Bruce Baldus.
Fast and smooth. Trip Nobles, not sliding, nobody behind him. He looks over his shoulder, coming up over the crest out of turn 5. He sees Mike Reed back there, but not close enough to threaten him. He's only got half a lap to go.
Morris Murray, your comments on how far racing and the colors have come. I mean, here's Trip riding around in a pair of pink and white leathers, field shear leathers, and with pink knee draggers and a pink and white helmet. And just, it really has come.
And he's a He-Man.
He's a He-Man. He runs races. It's come a long way from the old black leathers and the old single Manxes and things like that.
That's true. It's interesting to think back that a 600cc machine right now with DOT tires and a little bit of work on the jetting is faster than a GP bike around most of the racetracks in the United States of about 10 to 15 years ago.
Good point, and especially with someone like Trip Nobles. Trip Nobles, our helmets off to you. You're winning this race, and Grand National Final, pressure's on. Bike number 31, Trip Nobles, out of Georgia, takes it home.
Down through one more turn to go here at a chilly road. Atlanta 600 Superstock honors go to Trip Nobles. Their checkered flag jumping.
Al Wilcox.
Al Wilcox, that's his name. Mike Reed takes second. He's happy. Tom Montano out of California third, and Darrell Saylor fourth. Formula 2 coming right up.
If motorcycling has seemed out of reach, maybe you just haven't reached for the right motorcycle. Legendary Inline 4 performance is now within your reach. Introducing the Nighthawk 750, only from Honda.
America's #1 self-help bestseller. It's the owner's manual for the human mind. Get your copy today at Walden Books.
Domino's just what you wish, and Domino's had to ring your bells.
With Domino's Pizza's Season's Greeting Special.
Nobody knows like Domino's.
Now get a medium pepperoni pizza for just $2.99 with any large pizza at the regular price.
Nobody knows like Domino's.
We don't make your pizza till you make your call and deliver in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed.
Nobody knows.
Ho, ho.
Like Domino's, how you like pizza at home.
Today we'll do one of those brutal side-by-side comparisons. That typically makes Brand X here look like the choice of below-average thinkers. Take this Subaru Legacy on the one hand and this Toyota Camry on the other. Both offer automatic transmission, power locks and windows, upholstery, and nice AC. But the Legacy costs $3,200 less than the Camry. So a lot to pay for one less syllable. Test drive a Subaru today, won't you?
As a special treat for you, Yamaha's Dave Peterson's going to show us around a TZ250.
This is the 1991 TZ250 Yamaha. It's a production-based machine made in Japan. Originally it was a road bike engine which has been modified for racing by the Yamaha factory. It weighs about 238 pounds, which is about 20 pounds over the limit, so we could still lose 20 pounds and be within the specified limit. The wheels are made of magnesium. The rear wheel is a 5.5 inch in width, running slick tires. The Dunlop tires we have available 2 compounds. At this track we're running the softer of the 2 compounds. The gearing we can change by changing the sprockets on the back wheel. By adjusting the length of the chain, we can change the gearing. It has a fully braced swing arm, which is banana-shaped here. This is a new innovation in the last couple of years to allow the exhaust system to be tucked away to stop them scraping on the ground. With the current tire technology, the angle of lean is great, so they can go more than 45 degrees, hence the tucking away of the exhaust systems. All of the body parts are actually made of aluminum. The foot pegs are made of magnesium, and everything else is made of aluminum. Some little modifications we've made to the machine is we've put a rear fender on, and we've also put a piece underneath the seat to close in this area. What happens is a vacuum effect is formed underneath here, and it tends to slow the bike down. So we've done that in order to get some top speed. The recent innovations on the 2-stroke technology is power valve mechanisms which operate on the exhaust system. What that does is it varies the port timing as the engine RPM increases. These cables are linked up to a motor which is linked to the tachometer, and at a certain RPM the cables will open and lift the exhaust valve. At the same time we have an electronic power valve on the carburetors. You cannot see the whole carburetor, but this is the power valve mechanism, and inside there is a solenoid. At a certain RPM the solenoid opens and shuts off the power valve, the power jet. Well, the Yamaha has been really successful this year. I think it's the best production-based machine available, and at the price I think it's been really good. Most privateers are running it with a large amount of success.
And here's Peterson's boss, Wayne Rainey.
So we're expecting to see the Wayne Rainey Otsuka Electronics team back next year. Is that etched in stone yet?
It's not etched in stone, but I think for sure we'll come back with at least one bike. We're still looking around though for some money to put maybe a 500 out there.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to drive Chevys.
Myth, Chevy trucks are #1. Fact, Ford is the best-selling truck in America and has been for the past 14 consecutive years. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to drive Chevy. Myth, Chevy trucks are a good value. Fact, Ford F-150 starts at $10,400 with cashback. See your Atlanta area Ford dealer today. Oh, mamas, don't let your baby...
Another Home Depot certified advantage. Guaranteed low prices.
Oh, come on, nobody do that.
Home Depot will beat any price from any store on any identical item any day.
Well, that's great, but are we talking the best brands?
Owens Corning Attic Blanket Insulation. It's the thickest, most powerful roll of pink insulation you can add. Get into the pink with Owens Corning. Home Depot. Low prices are just the beginning.
JUCO Giants square off for the national title. The 7th annual Coca-Cola Mid-America Bowl. Live 2 Eastern Saturday on Prime Network. Available on most Prime affiliates.
WERA Pro Formula 2 Road Racing brought to you by Dianetics. Free the winner in you. And the big story in WERA Pro Formula 2 Racing is that hole right in the middle of the front row, because Wayne Rainey, Otsuka Electronics team rider and serious championship contender Alan Scott right now is lying in turn 3 as they take the green flag. Alan Scott fell on the warm-up lap, handing the championship over to Dianetics sponsor Donnie Green, Northern California's Donnie Green. There he is in second place. Kenny Roberts Jr. takes a whole shot as this race gets underway here at Road Atlanta, the final round in WERA Pro Formula 2 Road Racing.
A hotly contested Formula 2 Championship Series this year, and Wayne Rainey here very disappointed with his rider Alan Scott, who fell right there where the bikes are right now. He has actually taken an ambulance ride. It looks like he's going to be okay, but he is definitely out of contention for this championship now.
Boy, I feel for Alan Scott. I don't know a road racer in America that hasn't fallen on cold tires, especially a cold day like today. You're on a new slick, and he went down in the warm-up lap, and he's got to just be kicking himself all the way back to the pits.
Danny Walker, where has he gone? He was up in the front. Who do we see here but Chris DeLuzio? And Chris DeLuzio definitely one of the big names in racing.
Danny Walker walking back to the pits. Excuse me, Keith. Danny Walker has fallen down. And here's your leader, Kenny Roberts Jr., out of turn 7, followed by Donnie Green and Rick Kirk, the Oklahoma rider. We had a chance to talk to Danny Walker. Let's see if there's any clues in his interview.
Well, we've had some problems this week, Keith, kind of like we did at Moroso, but we had so much fun there that we decided we had to come back. That and I got to beat Donnie, Keith. I got to be honest with you. I mean, I like Donnie, but we got a little bit of friendly rivalry going, and I just want to stomp him.
Danny, you got stomped. Your new leader, Donnie Green here, followed by Roberts, Kirk, DeLuzio, Graves, Himmelsbach, and the rest of the field. Al Salveri and Cliff Pagoni bringing up the pack here. End of lap 1. Donnie Green, your new leader, championship leader. He doesn't even have to finish this race to win the championship, Keith.
That's right. We came into this race. Donnie Green really only had to finish in the top 5 to win the championship. That was provided that Team Wayne Rainey rider, Alan Scott, won the race. Actually, Donnie hasn't practiced to win this race, but then Chris DeLuzio showed up, and that's the man to beat because he is actually considered probably one of the top riders, certainly in the United States, on 250s in North America.
I agree with you there, Keith. What we're seeing right now is Donnie Green versus Kenny Roberts Jr. It's a wonderful clash of old and new. Donnie, I'm afraid, is the old, and Kenny, of course, is the new. Kenny Roberts Jr., about 18 years old. Donnie Green has been 4-time 250 AMA national champion, so he's been there, is trying to get back there again, and Kenny Roberts is on his way up to winning form. And it's a kind of a neat clash to see these two go together, and I bet Kenny Roberts Jr. is busy writing notes on his notepad right now what Donnie Green's doing up there.
And as Donnie takes a look over his shoulder, remember he's already won this championship with Alan Scott dropping it on the warm-up lap. Earlier we had a chance to talk to Donnie.
It looks like it's going to be a close race. I'm looking forward to going out and pushing the bike around. It's pretty cold. It's sliding around a lot out there, but the engine's running really good. Roland's got the bike working great, and my boss told me I'm not allowed to win or else I'm going to get fired, so I just have to go out and finish. But I don't know if I can do that. This is going to be tough.
Nick, I'd hate to work for or even with a boss like that. What do you?
I hear you. Keith Code, of course, is the boss. Chris DeLuzio is coming up and putting the move on Rick Kirk and Kenny Roberts Jr. That ought to turn into a good battle. DeLuzio, Kirk, Roberts, it's going to be a lot of fun. Rick Kirk on that orange and white Lasix prepared machine is currently leading Kenny Roberts Jr.
And right there with him, of course, is Michael Graves, Chuck's younger brother on that TZ250. Right now, Chris DeLuzio, he's the guy to watch in this pack. Back there in 4th place right now. Watch out for Chris DeLuzio.
This started out as a star-studded field. Morris, as you spoke about earlier, the only 2 top riders in America who are not here today, Jim Felice, your team rider from the LA Motor Works, team, and also Nick Einach. Nick, you're not there racing today.
I'm here today, but I'm not racing today.
Nick, you're not here. And let me point out something about Nick Einach. Nick Einach, our co-host, the only man in history ever to lead championship points lead in both the AMA and WERA Pro Formula 2 championships at the same time. Well done, Nick.
Well, look at this dice boiling back here in the backfield. This is the race for second place, and it is hot.
Michael Gray's bike number 177. I raced with him out at Willow Springs.
There goes Chris DeLucio. Excuse me, Nick. There goes Chris DeLucio using all of those horsepower that Dave Harold has managed to build into that machine. Goes
everybody
from
down
fourth
the back
to
straight.
second place. Charges down past Kenny Roberts Jr. and Rick Kirk. Chris DeLucio moves into second place.
Chris DeLucio, almost a legendary rider here in 1991. That bike has been a rocket ship all season. Nick, you've been racing against Chris DeLucio. What's your assessment of Chris's machine?
Well, I'll tell you, I've looked at the back of Chris DeLucio's bike. Dave Harold prepares that bike. I've looked at the back of it a little too often during this year, and Chris not only rides it very well, but Dave prepares it very well. They're a good pair working together with Davhar Racing, and we've called him the cat among the canaries before, and Chris DeLucio really has dominated 250 racing in America. Where he shows up, he qualifies fastest and wins, and he's had some bad luck here and there, but he has become the dominant force in American 250 racing as far as I'm concerned.
Chris DeLucio, with no championships to win, only here to win the purse, which incidentally is going to double. This is fantastic news. WERA Pro Racing for Formula 2 and Formula USA next year, double the purse money. So here we go. Moving out of 1991 into 1992. Chris DeLucio on the chase of Donnie Green on the Dynetics bike. Let's see how it goes.
I've had a lot of people ask me as I walk around the pits here at Road Atlanta why I'm not racing, and it's pretty much a sponsorship idea. Delamo Yamaha out of Redondo Beach. We were kind of chasing the AMA championship, and that's where we're focused. I think Jimmy Fleece is focused on that one too, and we just skipped this WERA round to get ready for the next round of the AMA.
Look at that Yamaha TZ250B with Chris DeLucio at the helm. Pick up the front wheel coming over the crest there. That bike has got some power, and it's a lightweight package.
Coming up, more exciting Formula 2 action.
For over 20 years, Makita has played a part in the building of America. Makita Power Tools have developed their line to suit the needs of you, the customer. You can be confident that each tool sold will give you years of dependable performance. It's simple. If you're looking for high-quality power tools with a full line of electrical, cordless, and accessories, check out Makita. It's all the power you need.
Today we'll do one of those brutal side-by-side comparisons that typically makes Brand X here look like the choice of below-average thinkers. Take this Subaru Legacy on the one hand and this Toyota Camry on the other. Both offer automatic transmission, power locks and windows, upholstery, and nice AC. But the Legacy costs $3,200 less than the Camry. So a lot to pay for one less syllable. Test drive a Subaru today, won't you?
Waving and raving, a Sunday night craving, high-fiving and crying, the coach is frying. It's Sunday night pig out ESPN.
Pig Out, Sunday night NFL on ESPN.
America, let's pig out ESPN.
Formula 2 event. Let's talk a little about the Dynetics presented Formula 2 team. Number 3 right now, Donnie Green at the head of that pack. This team, Kit Cole, put it together, started the season late. Donnie missed the first 2 rounds, fell down in Shannonville, then had a second, and has won every race since then. What a performance as he won this championship. Right now, Chris DeLucio right around the outside of him. Donnie perhaps maybe not racing as hard as he might because he's not in a championship position. Chris DeLucio goes to the head of this field, ahead of number 3, Donnie Green.
No excuses for Donnie Green here. Not leading this race right now, but he did miss some practices. He knew he didn't have to work very hard this weekend. Donnie's out there, as he said, he's sliding around a little bit. He's definitely been at an extreme disadvantage over Chris DeLucio out of that turn 1 section, going up into turn 2 and turn 3, right where DeLucio passed him. We think it's the horsepower, probably a little bit of riding, probably a little bit of weight, but right now Chris DeLucio is out in front, and he's been known to disappear before. Well, let's see if Donnie can hang on to him. We spoke with him earlier. Everybody says you're the man to beat, that you're the fastest 250 rider in the United States right now. How does it feel coming to this race with that, having to carry that kind of load?
Well, that kind of load, you know, it's nice to have, but I think every race you have to prove that, and this has been a pretty difficult week for us. We had some problems on Wednesday. We haven't had a lot of track time, so this might be tough, but, you know, I'm pretty confident I can do it again.
And again and again and again, no doubt, Chris DeLucio, a young man with a bright future ahead of him. Right now, he's got a bright future in this race. He leads, not by much, from second place, Donnie Green on that Dianetic-sponsored machine.
Donnie has definitely got a little bit of a spark in him. When Chris went by him, he's tucking in hard, he's pushing hard. Rick Kirk leading Kenny Roberts Jr. with Michael Graves right there. That's a good race also. But Donnie Green might have a little something left in him, and I don't think he can't sit on that championship too much. He's going to want to run it pretty hard with Chris and see just how this all works out.
We watched him on the straightaway before. It looks like the Dynetics machine has got pretty good power down the straightaway with DeLuzio's Davhar racing machine. And right now, this is Chris DeLuzio's best part of the track, up through the turn 1 through turn 5 section. He's pulled out a few bikes on Donnie Green. Let's see how it works out. But I think the race is developing here for third place, and that looks like it's going to develop into a real barn burner. Rick Kirk out in front right now, Kenny Roberts Jr., followed by William Himmelsbach, a very, very much a veteran, 20 years in racing.
That's exactly right. William Himmelsbach has moved up to join those guys. There he is, bike number 14. The guy's, I think, 42 years old. He tries to go inside of Roberts right there. Let's put it this way, folks. Bill Himmelsbach has been racing longer than Kenny Roberts Jr. has been alive.
And look who's come up too, Al Salaveria on the only Rotax, the Aprilia, the Italian-built machine. These are legendary machines in Europe. This machine, right the way it is about a $25,000 motorcycle, about $10,000 more than a Yamaha TZ250B model. But also, these things come very, very ready to race with lots of carbon fiber, lots of titanium.
Al Salaveria already making ground. He's by Michael Graves and challenging Bill Himmelsbach. There he goes down the inside. Al Salaveria is through into 5th place already in this race. Let me tell you about Al Salaveria. He brought this machine over in the middle of the year. He started this season by attempting to compete in the FIM European Championships aboard a European Aprilia, but unfortunately that whole deal went sour for him. He had some sponsorship problems. He's here in the U.S. now, and he spent all this week with famed Rotax tuner Tony Murphy, and he's got that machine working very well. Let's talk to Al.
You've had a really rough season with your Aprilia, Al.
Yeah, I sure did. We were just trying to get it squared away right now. We haven't had much time with it, and it's been giving us a lot of problems. So hopefully we got it squared away here, and we'll be up there.
Up there he is. He's challenging. He's in 5th place right now and challenging Rick Kirk for that 4th place. Kenny Roberts Jr. goes to 3rd. Kirk is 4th. And look at Al Salaveria charge up behind him on that Aprilia. He had a bad start. He had some clutch problems earlier in the day. Cooked his clutch on the start line, it appeared, and he's coming from the back of the field. Through into 4th place, Al Salaveria chasing down Kenny Roberts Jr. for 3rd place now.
Beautiful low-line brake check pass in turn 7 on Rick Kirk. Al Salaveria pushing hard.
I don't know about beautiful. That was pretty blatant move on over Rick Kirk. And the Oklahoma Shark, Rick Kirk, is an aggressive person, so we'll have to see what happens.
Look at him all over, trying all over. This is another blatant move. He's not going to... He doesn't show the Roberts name on Kenny Jr.'s back any respect at all. He's going to charge through every opportunity he gets, riding all over the back tire of Kenny Roberts' Yamaha. That's Al Salaveria on the Aprilia.
Looks like he's loafing a little bit through the infield. That was I admit it, he put it in there on him for sure, Nick. But it looks like he's trying to save it, use the horsepower of the Aprilia. That's what it is. Not only it's the horsepower, but that bike
there he goes, 3rd place for Al Salaveria.
Good job.
He's using the lightweight, I think is what you were getting to. The Aprilia.
Oh, look, Kenny Roberts Jr. charges, tries to get back up the inside, and Al Salaveria slams the door on him. Sorry, guys, this is too exciting for me.
The Aprilia weighs in quite a bit less than the TZ, probably 15 to 20 pounds lighter, I would say, and that is definitely a benefit when you're on the brakes. You're getting the thing leaned over, getting the thing out of the corner, up those hills. Lighter weight, folks, is better racing, and that's why they try to make these Formula bikes as light as they can get them, but yet still affordable.
The Aprilia is by far the most beautiful bike on the circuit right here in America. It is just a symphony of carbon fiber, titanium, and magnesium. What a beautiful, beautiful machine. And you're right, it is weighing sometimes 15, 25, maybe even 30 pounds lighter than some of the Yamahas.
And Al Salaveria knows just what to do with it. He's really riding it hard. Takes a quick peek under his arm there and sees Kenny Roberts back there a little ways. That's a fairly comfortable lead for a very fast motorcycle like the Aprilia. So Al's not going to worry about Kenny coming by on the brakes, I think. I think he's got a pretty good lead.
And Al Salaveria, not a championship contender. He's here to win this race. Come right back. We've got more Formula 2.
Take a good look at your riding skills. Twist of the Wrist has been the world's best-selling manual. Now the video puts into action 107 minutes of straightforward information on 14 of the most critical areas of riding. Whether you're a street rider or a competitive rider, this video will help you get the winning edge.
Dianetics, America's #1 self-help bestseller. It's the owner's manual for the human mind. Get your copy today at Walden Books.
In California, paying for insurance could be a painful proposition. Fortunately, California Specialty Insurance is your best defense against high insurance rates. If your insurance rates are high, save like a pro with CSI. Don't drive without insurance. Call CSI and save, save, save. At CSI, our low payments will get you all the coverage you need. To find out how to win 2 free tickets to a Kings game and get a free quote, call 1-800-222-9222 now.
With our jewelry, I would say being America's leading jeweler, we have an image to stand behind. And I think that's what makes a customer feel good. Jewelry, when it leaves the store, they're going to show it to everybody. And it's going to be a reflection of service merchandise. I'll magnify it as high as you want to go. You want to see it, I'll show it to you because I know we've got the quality there. You should definitely shop around. They'll go out, they'll compare, and they'll always come back. Always.
Service merchandise, America's leading jeweler.
Here we are back at Road Atlanta with the Dianetics presented Formula 2 WERA Pro race. We're at the halfway point of this race. Saliveri in third place. Kenny Roberts gets a little bit of a bubble behind him. He's chasing him down. Kenny Roberts also wants to win this race. Every one of these guys, bar perhaps Johnny Green, he's in a championship position. Rick Kirk, Kenny Roberts, they're chasing down Al Saliveri.
Rick Kirk on the oldest bike out there in the field. Certainly the oldest bike up in the top 5 positions. That's a 1990 Yamaha, isn't it, Nick?
That's exactly right. John Lasseter prepared 1990 A model Yamaha, and they're a little bit lighter than the B models, a little bit lighter than the 91s, and some people say they put out a little bit more horsepower, but they don't have the chassis rigidity or the suspension, and Rick Kirk's feeling a little bit over the bumpy Road Atlanta turns.
This actual 1990 TZ that you see Rick Kirk riding is the same one that Rich Oliver rode to victory at, I believe it was Grattan, in last year's WERA Pro Formula USA event. Rich, of course, had the task of riding a 250 in Formula USA last year. This year he's got some good equipment. So this motorcycle has been around.
Roberts is really pushing, Keith. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you just saw him pushing the front end and caught it back, and the thing gave a big wobble. Keep in mind, folks, he's got Wayne Rainey here watching him and his dad, Kenny Roberts Sr., watching, and that's a lot of pressure for a 18-year-old kid. He says he doesn't feel the pressure, but you've got to know when you have 2 world champions show up to watch you go racing, you better do something.
Little Kenny hasn't been short on trying at all this year. He tried hard at Seattle. He ran it in on the front brake. He lost the bike there. I mean, he would have been a championship contender except for a couple of situations. I spoke with Wayne Rainey earlier. He said that it definitely was not very interested in all the body work that Alan Scott and Kenny Roberts Jr. had destroyed over the year, but he was actually basically happy with the season and basically happy to bring the team here to the WERA Pro races.
And Rick Kirk is taking that place away from Kenny Roberts right now. Roberts holds a tighter line, tries to get it back from him. Rick Kirk goes back to 4th place, and he's now chasing down Al Saliveri in the 3rd place. They have a back marker amongst them. Kirk will have no problem getting around him. And I think it was your championship leader, Donnie Green, who described earlier in the year, he described Kenny Roberts Jr. as the one with the lion heart, and that is an apt description. This guy races with all of his heart.
I kind of wish he would have stuck around and raced YSR 50s or dirt bikes for a while and let me retire before he came out, and I think a lot of the older road racers feel the same way. He's up and coming and pushing hard. Right now he's got Rick Kirk working very hard to maintain that 4th place.
Rick, not an inexperienced rider. Rick Kirk being on the circuit for quite a long time. This is not 250cc machines, not really his strong suit throughout his racing career. He's raced much bigger bikes. He's done quite a bit of racing on larger machines. The 250, he fell into the 250s, looked good pretty much right away. Looks like he took to him very, very, very quickly.
I have not seen Rick Kirk ride anything badly. He gets on the Yoshimura Superbikes and goes fast. He gets on the Mad Dog
right now
bikes.
He's been passed. 2 bikes have gone past. Well, one has gone past, the other tried. Kenny Roberts Jr. drafted Rick Kirk down the back straight here at Road Atlanta. Bill Himmelsbach tried to get by but couldn't make it down in the dip. Kenny Roberts Jr. and Rick Kirk are having a real ding-dong battle here at Road Atlanta.
Bill Himmelsbach just shadowing Kenny Roberts Jr. and Rick Kirk. They are not shaking him. He's in the draft all the time. He's been racing for 20 years. He's got the understanding. He's wily as a fox, and there he goes underneath. Both
he passes both of them. Bill Himmelsbach, 42 years old. He got into 3rd place, got onto the podium in Pocono. Roberts goes back ahead.
Kenny doesn't take
Rick Kirk has the lead now. Oh, this is fabulous racing. Bill Himmelsbach, look at all these young guys riding all around him. He's not intimidated. He's ready to mix it up with them. Right now, Rick Kirk comes out of that whole melee on top.
I talked to Bill Himmelsbach earlier, and he said he's riding better than ever, and it's just a matter of knowing what you've got to do, and he's been around long enough to know how to do it.
Okay, we got to realize this is the battle for 4th position right here. There's 3rd, just disappearing out of the screen. That's Al Saliveri. Saliveri on the Aprilia. He's way back from Donnie Green. Donnie's got about a 9-second lead on him. Right now up front, we are not... There he is.
That's your leader.
There's
Chris
your leader right there.
on the Davar prepared Yamaha.
Yeah, he's already got about 3.5, 4 seconds in front of Donnie Green. Looks like Green backed off and is going to cruise in for the championship in the second place.
Look how quick Chris turns it in. I mean, the guy is really riding well. He holds it wide, turns it in quickly, puts it on his knee, and starts to drive out. Not lazy. He doesn't steer it in early. Very good. You can see why he's winning this race.
There's no doubt about it. Donnie Green coming back in there. Donnie Green about 155 pounds, race ready and going in. Here's the battle coming down into the hole right now. Forget the guys up front. Here's where the race is for 4th place. William Himmelsbach out front. Kenny Roberts Jr. relegated to 5th place. And Rick Kirk looking at 6th. He's looking back up to 4th, though.
Let me tell you how old William Himmelsbach is. His son races with him.
White flag lap. We're on the last lap of this WERA Pro Formula 2 race, the last one of the season here at chilly Road Atlanta,
Kenny
Georgia.
Roberts Jr. in turn 1, taking it back from the experienced William Himmelsbach.
Keith, let's go to that pre-race interview with Kenny Roberts Jr.
So your boss is here today, Wayne Rainey.
Yeah, that's him and my dad. But, you know, we went out and practiced, and he looked at the bike 2 laps and came in and made adjustments that I've never even heard of before, and the bike seemed to work about a second faster. And it's just incredible how much they know, you know. One day, you know, I'll hopefully be up there, but it's just incredible they're learning and how much they know about a motorcycle.
Showing lots of respect there for his elders and to some extent his peers. They're here as part of his race team. Kenny Roberts, his dad, 3-time world champion, and Wayne Rainey, 2-time world champion, here limping around, though. He broke his leg at the end of this year. Young Kenny right now in a scrap for 4th place. Kenny Roberts leading from Bill Himmelsbach, and Oklahoma's Rick Kirk on that older Yamaha. Here's your leader, Chris DeLucio on the Davar Yamaha.
DeLucio coming back for his 2nd win here at Road Atlanta and his only 2 wins here in the WERA Pro Formula 2 Series, taking the checker flag from Al Wilcox.
My hat's off to your 2nd place finisher here, Donnie Green, your championship winner all season long. He's been looking good in this championship. Whole team, Keith Code, the team owner, Roland Cushway, team mechanic, and Donnie did a great job. 3rd place goes to Al Saliveri. Let's look at this battle now for 4th place as they come down one more turn to go. It looks like Kenny Roberts Jr., KR, JR they call him. He takes 4th place in this race from Bill Himmelsbach and Rick Kirk. As we look at the final race standings here, we have to once again congratulate Donnie Green and the entire Dianetics race team. What a year they've put in, missing the first 2 rounds, or not taking any points, I should say, coming back and winning the championship with 104 points. 2nd goes to Alan Scott. Young Kenny Roberts Jr., he was a rookie this year. He finished as 3rd, and on down through 10th place. Nick Einoch, our co-host, in 9th place.
Dianetics, America's #1 self-help bestseller. It's the owner's manual for the human mind. Get your copy today at Walden Books.
There's more to motorcycle road racing than a good rider and a fast bike. AMI Incorporated can open the doors to a profitable and exciting career as a motorcycle technician. In just 15 weeks, we give you the hands-on training you need. Internationally recognized, AMI is fully accredited and approved for veterans training. Full-time placement and financial assistance is available. Classes begin every 5 weeks, so call toll-free now. It could be the most important phone call of your future. It's a career.
Formula USA Motorcycle Road Racing has certainly provided some exciting moments in this 1991 season. We need your cards and letters again at the end of this season to promote to our sponsors, to the network, to everybody involved. If you like the show, please write to us. Let us know how you like the show. We're going to pass your letters along. We need them. If you want to see it in 92, send those letters. Let's take a quick look back on the 1991 season and all the excitement that Formula USA Motorcycle Road Racing has brought to you. On behalf of Nick Einoch, Morris Murray, and show director Paul Winters, this is Keith Code. Send those letters along, and let's have some more racing in 1992. Don't go away yet, though. We've still got the exciting conclusion to the Formula USA, the second leg, and we're going to go for it right now.
There you go, sports fans. Go get a pen and paper. Write to us. Formula USA, Box 1226, Hollywood, California, 90078. We look forward to it. In 1991, WERA Endurance has been all about one team. This team, Team Suzuki. John Ulrich has led this team to a record number of victories. Kurt Hall, Britt Turkington, Donald Jacks, Michael Martin doing the riding for them, Keith Perry, the crew chief, have absolutely been the dominant force in endurance racing. John Ulrich, the team leader, has issued a challenge to all comers. He's tired of winning. He's looking for somebody to come on and give him a race. Will it be in Holland still? We see them right here. One of the serious challengers is going to come from Honda, of all people. Here's their new CBR 900 RR. This machine is a fantastic example of Honda's engineering, and next year they'll be out in the endurance trying to do battle with John Ulrich's Team Suzuki.
Coming up, leg 2 of Formula USA. Stay tuned.
If Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to drive Chevys.
Myth. Chevy trucks are popular. Fact. The Ford Ranger is again the #1 selling compact pickup and gets the best gas mileage of any truck.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to drive Chevy.
Myth. Chevy trucks are a good value. Fact. Ranger savings now total $3,400 with $600 in bonus savings. See you in Atlanta area.
Scotty Beach for all his work on the methanol monster and the Dunlop tires. They worked great all race. You know, I couldn't have been in the winter circle without the Dunlops.
Was the methanol really a help? Did you feel more power on the bike toward the end of the season?
Yeah, it's definitely been helping all along. On Wednesday and Thursday, when the temperatures were a little hotter, it was a little better. But, you know, this cool weather, we just had to do a little bit rejetting and whatnot. But it definitely helps the motorcycle. And besides that, it's a great novelty, too.
Yeah.